Just lately I have been playing with making some of these things. They are called artist trading coins. Now you may have heard of artist trading cards. These are a similar kind of idea, except they are round instead of rectangular. So the idea is that you have a piece of card or some kind of surface that's 2.5 inches in diameter, and on that you create whatever little bit of art that you like, whatever makes you happy. And the only rule with them is that you cannot sell them. You can either give them to somebody or you can swap them. So they're great for scrap busters, and I've made a few there, and I've got a few more in preparation that I haven't quite finished off yet. I've got a couple there. Great way of using up your leftover bits and pieces. But this is what today's project is. It's a little case to keep them in. And if I open it up, inside there are little pockets, and I can pop my trading coins in there, and I can close it up, and I can take it with me all ready to swap with somebody else. So this is what I'm going to be making today. Stay with me, I'll show you how. Here's what I'm using. I've got 3 pieces of grey granite that I've cut to 2 3/4 inches. Here's what I'm using. I've got 3 pieces of grey granite, and I've just cut the entire width of the piece of A4 at 2 3/4 inches. So they're 2 3/4 by about 8 1/4. I have 8 pieces of soft suede, and these are 2 3/4 by 2 1/2. And I've got 3 pieces of Joyous Noel Specialty Designer Series paper, and these are 2 1/2 inches square. I'm going to start with one of the pieces of grey granite, and I'm going to score it at 2 3/4 inch, and then at 3 1/4 inches, and then I want this bit to be 2 3/4 inch as well. So that is 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be at 6 inches, and I'm going to make this one a little bit wider. I'm going to score this at 6 5/8. So that's going to be the back and the front of my box. Now these are going to be the sides, and I'm going to do both the same, and I'm just going to score at 1/2 inch, and then 1 inch, and then 1 1/2. So every 1/2 inch along the entire length of the piece of card, like this. And then when I get to the end, I have about 1/4 inch left over. So I'm going to go and do this again on this other piece, and then we will be ready to start putting things together. I am burnishing all of my folds. And on these pieces I'm going to concertina them. So I'm just going to go forwards and backwards, the whole length of the piece of paper. And as I'm folding, I'm trying to make sure that I do keep my folds nicely lined up, because card and paper will stretch. It's a sad fact of life, but it happens. I'm going to use a corner rounder, the 1/2 inch side. So it's the larger side of this. It hasn't done particularly well. And it's always easier to apply decoration embellishments while your project's in the flat stage. So I have 2 of the 2 1/2 inch squares here, and I'm going to pop one. That's going to be the front. This isn't particularly directional, but I want that that branch pointing that way. So I've aligned things accordingly. And then one on the back. Do I care which way around these go? Not particularly. I'm using liquid adhesive, but of course you can use tape or whatever keeps you smiling. All right, now I've measured that flap and it came to 1 5/8 of an inch. So on this piece on the back, I've measured down 1 3/8 of an inch. I don't know if you can hear the haunted house sound effect. It's my husband moving around. And our door is rather squeaky. So I have cutting mat. Don't cut into that. You'll cut a hole in it. Guess how I know? I'm just cutting that piece away with my craft knife. And now that is going to fit quite nicely on there. I rounded the corners, so I'm going to round the corners on this piece as well, just the two of them. Nice and smooth. And liquid adhesive onto the back. Pop that in place. I do love this grey granite. It is such a beautiful colour. It's a warm grey. So smoky slate is a cool grey. This is a warm grey, and it's lovely. All right, that's going to work like that. And I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take my classic label punch, and I'm just kind of eyeballing the centre there. I'm just going to cut that little lip just to make it a little bit easier to get the ATCs in and out. So here are the concertina folds, and on the 1/8 of an inch bit that I had left over, I'm just going to put my liquid adhesive along there, and I'm going to line that up between those score lines. So it's just like that. And now with the other one, I'm going to do the same thing. Again, tape, perfect for this. Have to be quite a strong tape. I wouldn't use snail. If you've got any fast fuse left, that would be perfect. Otherwise, your tear and tape, your double-sided tape, will work great for you. Okay. So now I've got something that looks a bit like that, and all of these pieces are going to fold in. Okay, now if you want to be super fancy, you can round off the corners of these pieces with your corner rounder. It works properly. Okay, so you've got two like that. But you don't have to do this. This is just me being super fancy. And yeah, it would have been easier if I thought about doing this before. I'm just checking that I'm doing it right. Yes, I am. Yeah, it would have been better if I'd thought about doing this actually before I started assembling the box, but you know me, you know, so those now fold over and look like that. Okay, going to do the same to the other side, and then we can crack on. I'm going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive, and again, tape is brilliant for this. I'm going to fold that flap over, and I'm going to line up my piece of soft suede with the fold, and then I'm going to bring the next one over and my next piece of soft suede. So all of the flaps are in place on this side, and now I need to glue them to the corresponding part on the other side. So once again, tiny bit of liquid adhesive, fold over the flap, line it up, and we're done. Bring the next one in, a little bit of liquid adhesive, line it over, line it up, sorry, bring it over, and the next one, and the next one. Now I deliberately cut these a little bit shorter than the side pieces, because I wanted it to be easy to get the 80 coins in and out. I'm just bringing that over, trying to keep it as square as I possibly can. And remember, paper and card stretches, so sometimes you have to coax it a little bit. Sometimes you have to be firm with it. And sometimes you didn't cut it square in the first place, but we'll gloss over that. Right, this is the last one. And there you are. And now I'm going to put my liquid adhesive all the way along those two panels and bring up my front piece. The box does need something to keep it closed, and I did think about possibly using magnets or some Velcro dots, but I decided in the end I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm just going to make a little catch for it. Now I did start, and the doorbell rang, so this is take two. So I have a 1 1/8 of an inch circle punch and a little bit of my copper foil. It's not a circle punch actually, it's a scalloped circle punch. And I've got a 1 inch punch, and I'm going to cut a piece of soft suede, and with the 3/4 of an inch punch I'm going to, and I'm trying to catch a piece that's got a little bit of the foiling on it. I'm going to cut a bit of the DSP. Yeah, the best piece was the bit I cut off earlier, and it had started to stick it down, and actually I think I might get away with using that, so we'll give it a try, shall we? So a little bit of liquid adhesive onto the soft suede, And that's just going to centre that up like so. And we'll try this piece, because I think once it's stuck down, I don't think anybody's really going to be able to tell the difference. Oops, so okay, so that's going to be my catch. So I'm going to put a dimensional onto just one half of this. I'm only going to use one, and I'm going to pop it onto the lower half. So I'm going to tuck that all the way down behind it, and that is kind of as far as it'll go, and that now does a wonderful job of just holding the flap shut on my little box. And that is it. That is my finished wallet for my artist trading coins, and I've put a few inside, my finished ones, and as you can see they are bits that are left over from other projects, and this will keep them nice and safe until I meet somebody else who's making artist trading coins and we do some swaps. So that is it for today, and I do thank you very, very much for joining me. Love it if you came back and saw me again sometime soon, but for now, bye bye.